So naturally, since I'm a Norwegian person, my dreams are naturally a little crazy. Well, at the very, very least, they aren't as crazy as Sweden's. Hee ha 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 ha. Anyway, so my dreams. I have had many dreams in my bed, no real surprise there. Okay, I don't know what to do, so FNH, JJKQKJBSDM FDKWSDGLSKZH, KSKDAESKDK8DNFS. So this dream, I remember that I had in my bed, and well, it started with me eating breakfast with my family, and there was talk about that our cousin that didn't look like my cousin was gonna go to space. And I asked if I could go with my cousin to space. And my aunt said yes. So the next day, we went to the rocket and we took off. And well, here is where it gets crazy. So the first thing I saw was Mars bullying Mercury with a slingshot while Earth and Mars and Venus was talking. So let's break down this scene. There is two Mars, and one is bullying Mercury and the other is talking with Venus and Earth. But if we can see the Earth, that begs the question. What planet did we come from? It was a terraformed Haumea with Ceres as a moon. Okay, next scene. We flew through the asteroid belt and then we saw the Earth's moon and two smaller moons. The closest that I could find to the moons we saw in my dream was Umbral and Ariel. Umbral and Ariel are moons of Uranus. And we also saw a couple of comets. And outside the asteroid belt, we could see the gas giants in a boxing ring. Oh, and did I mention that I have weird dreams? Well, if you didn't hear what I just said, then I will repeat it. And outside the asteroid belt, we could see the gas giants in a boxing ring. Just let that sink in. The two biggest planets go toe-to-toe in an epic battle in a boxing ring. What the duck? And in an equals weird turn of events, the two ice giants and Miranda, Titania, Oberon, and Triton were cheering on the two gas giants in the boxing ring. Miranda, Titania, Oberon are moons of Uranus and Triton is the biggest moon of Neptune. And all of these celestial bodies were cheering on the two gas giants in the boxing ring. And in the background were Pluto and its biggest moon Charon Charon looking very depressed. Still, sad, about, being, demoted, to, a, dwarf, planet, a, Pluto.
Hey, seriously, you can't just say that to my Pluto, that's insulting. Oh, and did you just assume my gender? Cuss, that's offensive, that's offensive, that's offensive. Hey, polls officer, this guy is BAD, do you hear my this person is ABADGU, why aren't you listening to me? You know that women have rights and you have to respect me, and no, I won't wear a mask when it's a pandemic. CIS, there are chips in there that wanna mind control me, and don't you talk like that to my unvaccinated child. Cuss, vaccines are bad. And you know it, and to top things of vaccines cause autism, and that's a fact. Cuss, the earth is a flat, please of po, do you hear me? It's flat FLATO, and don't you call me Karen, the K word, it's way worse than the N word, even though I can't say the N word online, but I can say Karen just fine, and you stop making fun of my name. It's not Karen, it's Karen, and if you say that, then I will call 911 on your BS if you don't let me speak to your manager.
Okay, that Karen impression of mine did not happen in the dream. But I kinda had to find a way to put a Karen impression in that scene since the name Karen and Karen are so similar. In fact, they are so similar that this AI voice pronounces the names very similar. Take a listen. Karen. Karen. Hear the difference? Anyway, so in the dream we kinda just flew around the boxing ring. That meant that we flew past Uranus Uranus and Neptune. And Neptune gave us this sinister look like if just our present bothered him. But when we flew past Uranus he was ready to fight, but luckily his moon stopped him from doing any harm. Maybe he was just a little salty about being made fun of with that funny name. IDK, so we kept on flying around the boxing ring, and in the distance we could see a couple of dwarf planets and 4 moons. The dwarf planets consisted of Haumea, Makemake, Sedna, and Eris. And the moons consisted of Namaka and Hyakka, which are the moons of Haumea, and S 2015, 136472. 1, which is Makemake S moon aka MK2. Really creative name there, Mr. or Mrs. Makemake S moon name giver. And the last moon is the moon of Eris, Dysnomia. And that was all the things that is interesting to talk about while me and my cousin were in space in my dream. But before I show you what happened when we landed in the dream, I will show you a map of where things were in my dream. Now when we was gonna land on Earth, we didn't do it like the way you'd go about doing it in the way you do it IRL. We just did it like the way you'd not do it if you were smart. It is like this. And while we were flying through the atmosphere, my cousin said that I had to jump out at a really specific time to make it on a platform in something that they called a wind tunnel, where I'd get a parachute. And when I landed and I had gotten my parachute on me, it activated immediately. And the reason why they called it a wind tunnel was because the wind in there was really strong. So strong that when my parachute had activated, the wind dragged me straight out into flying. And as I was gliding down, I saw that the rocket landed on the road and jumped over a ramp before landing in the ocean. And that was the end of my dream. Really crazy. So at some point in my bed, I had a dream about something that happened in my life, and that included these headphones. So one day, I had these on my desk and a girl came up to me and said,
"Those are some really good headphones."
And I mean, she's not wrong. They are pretty good. And in this dream, I had them in my backpack for when I went on a trip. But when I came home, they were shattered. And out of nowhere, this same girl comes busting through my door and says that,
"Those are some really good headphones."
I think what my brain was doing here is that it put together a couple of memories and made a dream. 'Cause that same girl that had complimented my headphones also had ran up to me and busted through the door to ask me if I had gotten my grade papers on the last day of school before summer vacation. I guess she was worried that I hadn't resaved them since I left early. Meh. So anyway, I said nope and left. If I'm gonna be honest, I think that was really nice of her. It shows that she is able to go out of her way to help others and not just think about herself. She is a really nice girl who cares about others, and that's a good thing. We need more people like her. Take this gold medal. Okay, now get out. Okay, now for a dream that made me really uncomfortable when I woke up. So you remember the FOOD class video, right? Just imagine the people that I were on the group with last. Okay. Good. So this dream, we meet up in food class and everyone wondered why we were there, 'cause everyone thought that food class was over. And then we were told what we were gonna make, and then they just gave us the food for no reason. And well, I will just animate what happened so that you can see it for yourself. Just imagine how I was for me in 4K. Another time I just had this weird dream where I was in this white void and there was just this random store with someone in my class on it. And when I went in, I just died. Jep, that's what happened. I just silently died. No, nothing else. Just a silent death. And another weird dream I had was I was walking home. And in front of me were two girls that I never walked home with in my life. But in this dream, my neighborhood had been cut and pasted so that the place that they lived were between the school and my neighborhood. So I was walking behind the girls, and were around 65 feet 71332 inches to 98 feet 5764 inches away from me. And no matter what I did, they were always the same distance right in front of me. As an example, if I looked up, then they'd be up in the sky, and if looked to the side, then they would fly the way I was looking, so that they were always in front of me. Also, I tried to run past them, but they were still around 65 feet 71332 inches to 98 feet 5764 inches, so it was kinda weird. So for anyone just viewing them and not me, they would be moving at running speed, but their legs would be walking. So it just looked like a bad walk cycle that was not in sync with the speed. And now I am efficiently out of dreams to talk about. But some random times I do have these creepy dreams where there will just be people that I know outside my windows and just stare in. May I DK what that means, but anyway, good night, and always remember that I am always in your closet at night. Okay, see you in your dreams tonight. 0.0/0